Hi there, welcome back to this new section of this course. Now in this video we'll be talking about content creation. And to begin with, there is a famous saying in the world of digital marketing, and that is content is king. And recently I've seen people start to say that engagement is queen. So you need both the king as well as the queen for your Instagram growth, because on one hand, if you have really good contents, but if nobody is seeing your contents and engaging with it, then obviously you can't grow. And on the other hand, if you have a huge number of people visiting your page, but your contents have no quality, then it is of no use, because people would simply visit your page, check the contents, and then leave your page without following you because your contents doesn't have quality. Now in this video, we'll take a look at the king, and in the next sections, we'll take a look at the queen. Okay, first things first, before talking about content creation, I want you to understand something else, and that thing is to niche down your Instagram page. Now you might ask me, what is a niche? Well, a niche is a specific category into which your Instagram page would fall into. So for example, if you're posting contents related to cooking recipes, then cooking is your particular niche. And if you're a photographer who posts contents related to photography and all those kinds of things, then your particular niche is photography. And if you're a coder or a designer or something like that, then that would be the particular niche that your Instagram account falls into. Now one thing that you have to note is that you can have subcategories for a niche. So for example, take the case of photography. Now photography is a very broad niche, and in photography you can have wildlife photography, photography of nature, then there's modeling photography and all those kinds of things. So you can choose among these as your specific niche. So that's the first thing that you have to do before starting your Instagram page, and that is to niche down and identify what kinds of contents are you going to post on Instagram. Now I think it's time to take a look at valuable contents. So as you can see on the screen, I've differentiated valuable contents or valuable niche from a niche that doesn't have any value. Now under the no value section, you can see that a niche that just posts quotes doesn't provide any value to the people viewing it. Now in my personal case, I started off by posting quotes, and I still post quotes, but I had an advantage because currently the quotes niche, and especially the motivational quotes niche, is highly saturated, and it is very difficult to grow in that niche. But when I started my quotes page, it wasn't as saturated as now, and if you want to grow a motivational quotes page now, you would have to run advertisements to grow. So if you have the cash to spend, then it is okay to be on this niche. But if you don't have money to spend, then don't choose the quotes niche. Okay, great. I hope you understood the type of contents that doesn't have any value. Now on the other side of the coin, we have the valuable contents. Now when I say valuable contents, I always mean these four things. So if your content falls into any of these four things, then congratulations, your contents have value. So as you can see, these are the four things. Let me read it out for you. And they are: if your content is relatable, then your content has value. If your content is informative to your viewers, then your content has value. If your content is funny, for example a memes page, then your content does have value, because you're entertaining your audience and they are laughing at your memes. Lastly, if your contents are visually and audibly appealing, then congratulations, your content has value. So the last case of visually and audibly appealing usually falls for photography niche, dancing niche, music niche, where you sing and all those kinds of things. So I hope you understood what a valuable contents are. Now let's take a look at few real life examples of contents that have value. Now let's start with the motivational quotes niche that I said doesn't have any value. So if you are planning to post contents related to motivational quotes niche and all those kinds of things, always post quotes that stand out. And as I've said earlier, this is a very saturated niche. A lot of accounts are coming up, and it is very hard to grow in this niche. So if you're trying to grow, you should post contents that stand out from other top accounts and similar account to yours. So this is one of the examples that I have for you. And this page is called the Billionaire Playbook, and you can see the contents of this page are really attractive and really catchy, and this person has added a black background to it, and people would definitely follow this page because the quotes that this guy posts is really attractive. So that is the first thing that I wanted you to note. If you're posting in a niche that is really saturated, you have to try to stand out, else you won't be able to grow your Instagram page. Now let's move on to the next thing, and the next thing is your content should be informative. And I have two examples for you on the screen. Now on the left side, you can see an Instagram page with the username The Hina Sheikh, and she posts contents related to Canva, which is an online editing platform where you can edit easily. So she posts contents related to tips and all those kinds of things, and if you visit her page, you are definitely going to find a value, and then you're going to understand why people are following her, because she gives out tremendous value to her followers for free. So that is the reason why people are following the Hina Sheikh account. Now let's move on to the next example, and the next example is Miss Excel. So what this person does is that she posts Instagram reels related to MS Excel. She kinds of posts contents related to the things that people didn't know about MS Excel, and that is the reason why she's having a huge number of followers. So when I encountered one of the contents of this page, I felt like, wow, it's a really good page, and I followed this page. So you can see that the key takeaway from this is that your content should be informative. Now, if your content is not informative, the next thing that you have to do is that your content should be at least relatable. Now, this is one example that I can give you, and this page is called Create the Love. So this person's name is Mark Groves, and he posts contents related to relationship advices and all those kinds of things. And a lot of people can relate to the advices that this person posts, and that is the reason why this person has around 1 million followers. So that is the next thing that you have to focus on. Your contents should be relatable if they are not informative. Now, if your contents are not relatable or informative, what you have to focus on is the visual appealing of your contents. So as you can see on the screen, this is a photography page, and you can see that the contents this guy posts are really visually attractive, and hence he's having a huge number of followers. So you have to show your audience that you really deserve to be followed. So that is the main thing that you have to take away from all of these. Your content should be informative, it should be relatable, it should be funny, or it should be visually appealing or audibly appealing. Then you're definitely gonna grow your Instagram page. Now I think I'll show you how to measure whether your audience are valuing your contents or if your contents are valuable. So if you look at the screen, you can see that there's a number of likes, there's a number of comments, then you can see the number of shares, and there's a number of saves. So what you have to focus here is that you should focus on the number of shares and the number of saves. So if a lot of people are saving your contents and if a lot of people are sharing your contents, then it means that your contents are really informative and valuable enough for your followers to reshare and save that post for later. So those are the two metrics that you have to focus. And I don't think you have to focus on the number of likes and number of comments to understand whether a post is valuable. You just have to focus on the reshares and the number of saves, because the number of reshares and the number of saves are the primary indicators of valuable contents. So that is how you check whether your contents have value. You just check the number of reshares and the number of saves. And if those numbers are really low, you have to try to bring those numbers up by posting valuable contents. Now I think it's time to give you a few resources for creating valuable contents. So the first resource that any digital marketer would give you is canva.com. So I've put the link to canva.com in the resources section of this video. So if you're not familiar with canva.com, you can see that it is a designing platform specifically created for non-designers. So if you're a designer, then you would obviously use Adobe products like Photoshop and all those kinds of things. And if you're not a good designer, then don't worry, you have canva.com. And it is a really helpful tool, and I suggest you try it out if you haven't. Now the next resource that I want to give you is remove.bg, and I put the link to the site in the resources section of this video. And as you can see on the screen, this is what remove.bg does. Now on the right side, you can see the before image where I have my image with a lot of background and all those kinds of things. So when you upload your image to remove.bg, you get the product as shown on the right side of the screen, and that is the after section. And there you can see that the background has been removed. Well, this feature is there in canva.com that I've shown you previously. But the problem in Canva is that in order to avail that feature of removing background, you have to buy the Canva Pro. So if you're not ready to buy the Canva Pro, then this is the best site to remove backgrounds, and I hope this will help you. So just go to the resources section and you'll find the link to remove.bg. Now let me give you a few other website suggestions. So as you can see on the screen, the first two websites are Pexels and FreePic. So those are stock images and vector images. And I put the link to all of these sites in the resources section of this video. Go out there and check all of these. And in the flat icons and icon finders, you'll be able to get a lot of icons. And what I would say is that check out these websites and you're going to definitely like it. Now in the previous slide, we saw stock images websites like Pexels and FreePic. Now in the slide, you can see a website called Cover. So what Cover does is that it gives you stock videos. So if you want to download free stock videos, then Cover is the best website for it. So I put the link in the resources section, you can check it out. Now moving on to a very important question, how to add value to your posts. So as you can see on the screen, there are two types of posts on Instagram, and the first type is the single type of post, and the other is the carousel posts, and carousel posts are swiping posts where you can put a maximum of 10 slides and people have to just slide till the 10th one. So the trick is simple. You have to post carousel posts, and carousel posts are the ones that add value to your contents. Single posts does add value to your contents, but not as much as carousel posts. So that is the first thing that you have to note. To add value to your contents, you have to post carousel posts. Now there are other things that you have to focus on, like writing a catchy headline. So on the left side you can see that the catchy headline is top 9 editing apps, and on the right side you can see that the headline is weekly tech roundup, top tech updates of the week. So what you have to do is that you have to catch the attention of your audience using catchy headlines. Now I can do a whole different course on headline mastery, but this is an Instagram course, so we'll just stick to Instagram. And after catching the attention of your audience, the next thing that you have to focus on is to deliver quality contents. And at the end, you have to provide something called a CTA, and a CTA is actually a call to action. So as you can see on the screen, I've swiped to the end, and at the end, there's an action that this person is trying to do, and that is to share this post to your friends. Now the action that you want your followers to take can be sharing your post, liking your comment, following you, and all those kinds of things. So what you have to do is that at the last slide you have to put a CTA that says, if you like this content, follow my page, and all those kinds of things. And on the left side you can see that in the comments also there is a call to action, and that call to action says follow for the latest tech news and hacks. And then you have mentioned your Instagram page. So when people see these call to actions, they can click into your Instagram page and they can follow you. Now let me give you an example of how I added value to contents. So as you can see on the screen, this is a page called What After College, and this page is having around 20,000 followers. So you can see that the typical post for this top account with 20,000 followers just has around 55 likes and 87 likes. So this page wasn't getting much of a reach. So as you can see on the screen, I was hired as an intern and I've created a post, and the post says 7 things which Corona stole from college students. So what I've done is that I've created a content that is related to What After College, and I've created a carousel. And you can see that the number of likes is 4,111, so around 25,000 plus people saw this post. So that is what you have to do. You have to create quality contents, and you have to create relatable contents that people like and people reshare to other people. So I hope you understood how to add value to contents. Now as you can see on the screen, if you don't know how to create carousels, I have a post for you on Instagram that will help you to create carousels on Canva, and I put the link to this post in the resources section. You can go and check it out over there. Now the last thing that I want you to know is that if you want to learn more about writing magnetic headlines, I have a course for you, and in the last section of this course called bonus lecture, I put the link to that course. And if you're interested, do check it out, and it would be really helpful for you. So I hope this was the end of this video, and let's wrap it up, and I'll be continuing in the next video.